07069126. Then in the second hour of the show, we speak to OJ Moiketsi, who is a director and producer, and we'll look at how the media and film speaks to the narrative of GBV. Of course, we'd love to hear from you this evening outside the conversations that we are having. How are you doing? How's your 16th going? Quite a bit of facts that I will be sharing with you pertaining to the 16th of December 2025. This, of course, specific to the context of South Africa. But I'd love to hear your 16th. Perhaps you're based in Togo and you're saying, Shayla, my 16th of December is quite ordinary. Or you're saying, listen, festive season has kicked in. We are rocking and rolling. The family's here. Everyone is cooking at the same time. Everyone is talking. Listen, life is happening. I'd love to hear from you. Find us on social media at Channel Africa 1 is where you find us on all social media platforms. Don't forget that you are tuned in to DSTV's 802. If not, 628 on OpenView HD. Lastly, you can stream us live on the SABC Plus app. Moreover, please download our app. Channel Africa has its app, and I am so proud to be saying that, because no longer will we get the text, but Shayla, where do I find Channel Africa on the audio bouquet for the radio? No more. We have our app that affords you not only an opportunity to listen to the shows, but to peruse through some of the content, some of the latest happenings across the continent and the globe at large. For now, it is 4 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time.
Africa Speaks on African Diaries with Shayla Ndikumana.
Kutoka Kwale hadi Kampala, mwendo wa joka sio haraka. Kutoka Kisumu hadi Kisauni, joka linanyonya nyinyi wahuni. Yeah. Linatamba kutoka Kwale hadi Kampala, mwendo wa joka sio haraka. Moyo kutoka Kisumu hadi Kisauni, joka linanyonya nyinyi wahuni. Yeah. Linatamba linatamba ile gari la moshi, linasafisha rezabu, linakausha hali, linawabwaga wahuni huku Nairobi. Kutoka Kwale hadi Kampala, mwendo wa joka sio haraka. Kutoka Kisumu hadi Kisauni, huku Nairobi, kambi ya utumwa. linatamba joka 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 linatamba mama kwa baba, mume kwa mke, dada kwa kaka. Huku Nairobi.
Contextually a friend of the station, and I say this because one of our hosts of a particular show just, let the cat slip out of the bag and said, listen, is that Eric? A good friend of mine. I said, listen, we work with people who know famous people. I love it for me. Nevertheless, that was Eric Wainana and that one titled Joka. 10 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. Welcome to it if you have just joined us. This is African Diaries. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company. And we've got the next 2 hours to be looking at the context of reconciliation and GBV. I know that might sound triggering, but my hope and the context I want you to bear in mind is that this is a conversation where both parties should be heard, and not both parties meaning perpetrator and victim, but more so those who are for the motion and those who are against it. I want to hear from you both. Find us on WhatsApp +27 6340 69126. If not, you can find us on social media. Use the handle @ChannelAfrica1.
Je, una jambo lolote mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Cheers to rest and renewal. Festive African greetings from Channel Africa. Go on, download the Channel Africa app.
Amour, oyebi na lelayo lokola kilao na kolinga ozala kaka yangai. C'est vrai. Vinanga isonja de l'instant. Namona yo, nakoma komona yo partout. Je suis perdu. Pamasa batuna kankai pona yo. Nzakunini na bomba kayo. Bipai na bomba yo, darling. Motema. Biloba lobo soyoka lokola mtinzi na matoye. Kokate famayo sanga. Pamasa batuna kelubu nini. Nalia pueto nalango yo boye. No, 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 no. Grite, marabute, bolingwa motima. Mawana répondre krakayo. La sali yo confiance, la pesi yo motema. Na kolate
doucement. Écoute ça, pa 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 pa. Oh ya 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 ya.
Tangana misonanga dadu into me. Yokamote mananga when you dance between moms. Okamwate nandingeza likobeta sala. Merci na papati pasala imagina. Nakotosa ba condition nyoso tu bago pesanga poète. Ozala wangai pour la vie a décidé nakopala yo mon amour a décidé yoza wangai. All my life I've been looking for someone like you, my darling. Since I met you I just can't get you out of my mind. I've never felt so in love before. But please tell me if you feel the same as I do. Mawana ngai pona kakayo. Seko sikinyana kokacho pona yo. Motema mabandona ngai pana yo. Nakupenda sana. Nakakayo.
Allumez le feu, allumez, yeah. Le feu, allumez le feu. Reviens à moi, on va cadencer. Reviens à moi, on va cadencer, 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 cadencer. Reviens à moi, on va cadencer. Reviens à moi, on va cadencer, 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 cadencer. On y va. Ayakaranga, ayakaranga, ayakahe. Oh la 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 la.
From Cape to Cairo, every beat tells a story. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
Caesar. Ulole wai tutula. Ulole wai tutula. Ulole wai tutula. Nangwa Caesar. Sule zoyembe zimtagwetu. Sule zoyembe zimtagwetu. Sule zoyembe zimtagwetu. Nangwa Caesar. Sule zonyembe zimtagwetu. Sule zonyembe zimtagwetu. Sule zonyembe zimtagwetu. Nangwa Caesar. Ulali we, wai tutula. Ulali we wai tutula. Ulali we wai tutula. Nangwa Caesar. Caesar. enkosinei uhlali ngwele zodwa uma ufuna ai ukuya khona thandaza phezulu enkosinei kuhlali ngwele zodwa uma ufuna ai ukuya khona thandaza.
It is 20 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. Zahara coming in with Loliwe, legendary, late and great, representing South Africa on the playlist this evening. If you have just joined us, before that we had Monique Tende, and she came in with Nalingiyo, an expression of the heart. Okay, this is an address to your sweetheart. In actual fact, it is the 16th of December 2025. We are smack in the middle of the month. In actual fact, yeah, a bit of a balance. It's a bit of a balance because we do end on the 31st this December. And so I'd love to hear from you. Is this the point where you begin to reflect on the year that was? Is this something that you now take into account when you are looking at the year that has gone by? Or do we still wait? Do we still push it until the 27th, 28th? Find us on WhatsApp. Tell me about it. +27 634 069126. For now, let's pay some bills.
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday, 23rd of July for Hard Talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. As 2025 draws to a close, we pause to honor the spirits that connect us. The festive season reminds us of what truly matters: family, community, and unity. No matter where you gather or reflect, Channel Africa is with you. Bring you stories and voices that are shaped by the African perspective.
Something significant happened on this day. Asanda, you were a baby, I'm sure. I'm not even sure if you were born. No, you were a baby, yeah.
Yoga. Matseko is still trying to convince me and flip me over
I've done that already, and you're going to come now on the journey.
I will try.
From all of us to all of you, may your season be safe and peaceful. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Keep Africa in your hands. Connect to our website for all your news, sports, and cultural updates. channelafrica.co.za.
24 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. If you have just joined us, welcome to African Diaries, an opportunity to scribe to your heart's content what lies in your mind, your heart, and your being. And today we are focusing on our GBV campaign, just tilting towards the context of South Africa, which is reconciliation. Is there room for reconciliation when it comes to GBV? And that's what we tackle in the very first hour. Perhaps you're thinking to yourself, Shayla, but here's my thought process, right? I can forgive the person, but I don't necessarily need to reconcile. We don't need to be one after the incident. And that's perhaps your truth. And so today we are opening the platform. We're saying, let's have a discussion. Let's have a conversation that's healthy, that's progressive, but more than anything else, that affords us an opportunity to give each other counsel that's fruitful. Find us on WhatsApp +27 63406 9126. For now, I hear Little Birdie telling me that Tiwa Savage and Brandy are talking about somebody's son. I have no idea why, but let's have a listen.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. I like a really boy, yes. Should I try again? But now my heart is still the pain me. Oh, Camille, ole coco. Shabby show me Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Yeah. Somebody song go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody song go love me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody song go love me one day. Oh yeah. Somebody song go love me one day.
Worried, I'm not worried. No, I know the progress. Who won't settle for whatever and live your life forever? This place, heart has been through much. Oh, Camille,
ole coco. Show me Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This won't be another heartbreak song. Somebody song go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. One day. Somebody song go love me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. It's for me to carry. Show me Ronnie. Tired of getting it wrong. This will be another heartbreak song. Somebody song go find me one day. I don't dare wait, don't stay too far away. Somebody song go love me one day. Don't stay too far away. One day, somebody so go love me one day. Somebody so go love me one day.
29 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. If you have just joined us, thank you so much for choosing us over the rest. I told you, Tiwa Savage and Brandy are talking about someone loving them one day, somebody's son. We don't know whose son, but listen, we have hopes for the both of them. Maybe you're that person too. You're saying, listen, Shayla, even me, I want somebody's son to love me one day. Well, Tell us about it. This is African Diaries after all. This is the platform where you subscribe to your heart's content, and we'd love to hear from you. +27634069126. It is time for us to get into our recap feature, and this is an opportunity to peruse through some of the conversations hosted on Channel Africa, and we kickstart off with the Rise and Shine team. Now, of course, this consists of Peter Ndoro and Asanda Beta. Festive season equals peak scam time. Now, 68% of South Africans report attempted scams, with fraud up to 32%. Truecaller launches a national campaign to help spot high-risk calls and avoid fraud. Hitesh Baghat from Truecaller explains more.
African Diaries, weekdays, 10 till midnight.
Can I? 31 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. Unfortunately, it seems as though our tech has left for the holidays in South Africa. It is a national holiday, noted as Day of Reconciliation. And it seems to an extent that the technology has decided that, listen, today, even me, Shayla, I want to rest. Strangely enough, it picks my show to do the resting on, which is not fair. But I'm going to run you through some of the conversations hosted. And just to recap there, Peter Ndoro and Asanda Beta spoke to Hitesh Baghat on the Truecaller campaign that will, of course, conscientize people of high-risk calls and, of course, help them avoid fraud altogether. And then we touch base with the Upside team that looked at sounds of the legends hitting Johannesburg and Durban this December, as well as Mpumalanga in January 2026, led by the Kwaito icon Sbu Maloya. Tied to his new album Mdlazi, a tribute to South Africa's greats such as Brenda Fassie, Leta Mbulu, and Sipho Hot Sticks Mabuse. Matseko Mosito and Tebohole Kuleni spoke to Spumaloya on this. And then we move on to Africa in Business. And Africa in Business looked at the world of traveling. And of course, they looked at travelers urged to stay alert. The same theme keeps on recurring, which is be cognizant of the festive season. As much as it's time to relax, to gather, to be merry, to be happy, merry, festive with each other, you still need to be alert. And the address was to the reality that Canada flags higher risk travel to South Africa, Tanzania, and Senegal. Also Morocco, in actual fact. Tami Ngubeni spoke to the security analyst and former Interpol ambassador, Andy Mashiale. And then lastly, with Khaled Dishkopio, led there by Mariamo Hassamo, we looked at ECOWAS suspending Guinea-Bissau after the 26th of November coup. Now, sanctions imposed, peacekeeping force approved, suspension stands still until civilian rule returns. And they impact this with the MB, who is Yankuba Njiani. And that were the conversations that were hosted here on Channel Africa. 33 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African time. A bit of a dry run through the recap. However, hopefully technology will come to our rescue in the show that is to follow. Well, the moments of this show that is to follow. For now, let's get some music.
African Diaries, weekdays, 10 till midnight.
Some more usukulile umama nishevuka nevuke yosemenza umthwalo kamama umthwalo sasikhulile
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, channel 628.
It is 39 minutes after 10 p.m. Central African Time. If you have just joined us, welcome to it. African Diaries is the name of the show. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company, and I'm with you for the next hour and 21 minutes. Let me tell you about the conversation that is to come, and this speaks to the reality of reconciliation when it comes to gender-based violence. What does that context look like? In actual fact, gender-based violence remains one of the deepest wounds of our continent, our globe at large, if you think about it. And while women and children and those who were vulnerable and had experienced GBV have the heaviest burden of that violence, the responsibility to end it cannot still be with them. We need to make a concerted effort as a cluster of individuals, as communities, as nations, as societies, as the global movement in order to eradicate the spread, the presence of GBV altogether. And so today we look at the context of reconciliation in GBV. Is it necessary? Should we do it? And if so, what does that look like in 2025? 20 minutes past, or rather 20 minutes to 11 p.m. Central African Time.
Madapiri bazoshitika. Madapiri bazoshitika.
Inogeka zingeni chihana lumbiritsidwa kukhala wachiwiri kwa mtsogoleri wa dziko la Malawi pa mwambo omwe unachitika ku nyumba ya chifumu ya Sanjika mu mzinda wa Blantyre. Ndiye pano tili ndi olemekezeka achihana. Takulandirani olemekezeka pano pa wireless ya Channel Africa pa Chinyanja Service. Malawi ayembekezere sotani kuchokera kwa inu ngati wachiwiri winaso kwa Batsikolo.
Choyamba ngati vice president umagwira ntchito yopatsidwa ndi president imene yakuganizira. Ndiye malowozi athu atipatsa bwinobwino koma ntchito yathu yayikulu ndikuwathandiza president kuti masomphenya awo akwaniritsidwe. Pali zambiri zoti zichitike, nkhani ya njala mdziko muno, boma la udakali chimanga ndi china chomwe chili mdziko muno kuti tithandize ana families are affected. Chachiwiri kunali ma fuel shortages amene akanaliponso apo ndi apo, tionetsetse kuti pumps athu asakhale dry.
Zochitika pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo, lolemba mpaka lachisanu ndi Madapiri. Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
The South African Medical Association, SAMA, has officially suspended all relations with the Israeli Medical Association, a move welcomed by healthcare workers for Palestine, South Africa. The organization says this decision represents a powerful stand for medical ethics, justice, and human rights, echoing the global call for solidarity with Palestinians.
And recently, we've also seen other national associations, such as the British Medical Association, Turkish. They've released quite strongly worded statements, although none have gone as far as SAMA to cut ties with the Israeli Medical Association, as well as to call for the suspension from the World Medical Association. It's a watershed moment that an organization has actually taken this step. And it's not an idle threat. SAMA is a member of the World Medical Association, and they can action this resolution by bringing it before the World Medical Association.
Dr. Sadiq Mullah, chairperson of Healthcare Workers for Palestine, South Africa.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine. Turn the page. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
One of us must have a last say. Words like dagger, we try to hurt each other. There's no other way until one surrenders. We've been like this for days. We've been like this for days. So when you said goodbye with a smile on your face, I thought it was as usual. You'll be gone just for a little while. I didn't see it coming, wouldn't believe what someone told me, that I've been waiting for years. Been waiting for years. Even though we knew like we're far away, far from far away. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's go back to the beginning. None of us must have a last say. I'm writing you this letter, hoping we can make things clearer. Over all the shouting, we forget to hear each other. And I miss you for days, in so many ways. Even though we knew like we're far away, far from far away. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's go back to the beginning. The beginning. You and me. Let's go back to the beginning. The beginning. You and me. The beginning. Oh. The beginning. You and me. You and me.
It is 14 minutes before 11 p.m. Central African time. Asha coming in with the beginning, somewhat to an extent bringing us into context of our very first conversation, the context at least of our very first conversation. Now today, here in South Africa, it is the 16th of December and this is Reconciliation Day. Now, this reconciliation evening, we center a conversation that is often uncomfortable. Reconciliation is not just about what happened in our past, it's also about what we are prepared to confront in our present with the idea to better state our future. Our guest this evening is Mr. Seth Mazibuko, the Chief Operating Officer of the Moral Regeneration Movement, a movement founded by the vision of Nelson Mandela, who declared and described it as an RDP of the soul. Now, the Moral Generation or Regeneration Movement asks us to look beyond our laws and policies. It, in actual fact, asks us to look at our values, our behaviors, and our silences. Joining us this evening on the line, of course, is Mr. Mazibuko. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries. Mr. Mazibuko, are you with us?
Lock, yes.
Fantastic.
I pressed it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome to African Diaries. Shall we start our conversation? Firstly, happy Reconciliation Day. What does this day mean to you?
Come on, boys. How do I do that? We are talking. Guys, please.
I do believe that we are still trying to get a hold of Mr. Mazibuko. It is 12 minutes before 11 p.m. Central African time. The question to you this evening is, what does reconciliation mean to you? And I do think that Mr. Seth Mazibuko joins us now on the line. Good sir, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me. I'm humbled by this invitation.
Happy Reconciliation Day. Is that a statement that one should say to the next? And what does it mean to reconcile in the context of South Africa?
My sister, let's start here and say, what does this mean? It is actually, how does it speak to our history? Where we're coming from and where we are. Even also the day itself. What happened on this day? And that which we've got to start debating. And then we can then also speak then about what is happening now in our country. But the history behind the day is that there was a blood river. There was where people were killed. And it's said that the blood was black. It was us. And to date, there has never been, even in our Peace and Reconciliation Commission, there was never any person who would have accounted for this day. And where I'm coming from is that when you do talk about reconciliation, reconciliation is not a day's event. It is a project. We have reconciled when we first came up with the constitution of this country and declared it in 1994. But we still are talking about some of our white brothers and sisters still would go up to Trump and still call themselves as not belonging to us. It's sad because, again, the history of this country under apartheid We were so separated that we even separated our own families. Our families were destroyed. We have not even, for that matter, reconciled as families. What we see happening in our country now in families, we have not touched that part of how are we reconciling as families, women and men. We have not even reconciled as in our form of gender. A woman is a woman belonging under the legs of a man, and we have not spoken about how does a man reconcile to a woman. This is a very high level project that must be taken on seriously. It is not a project that comes only on the 16th of June. It is a project that goes with also policies and programs. And I'm appealing to South Africa that let's not play easy about the blood that separated us. Let's not play easy about what separated us as families. Let's not play easy about what made us in the gender space, to be distanced with each other. When I went to jail, I was only a 15-year-old. I did not know how it is to be young. How do I reconcile with my youthfulness? It's a process, my sister. So my feeling is that I think we're taking some of these things when we speak about Human Rights Day, when we speak about Reconciliation Day, we take them very light. Thank you.
The voice there of the Chief Operating Officer of the Moral Regeneration Movement. That is Mr. Seth Mazibuko joining us this evening. It is 7 minutes before the hour. And Mr. Seth, I want to touch on a particular reconciliation that hasn't been addressed, that of men to women, women to men, and this resulting in violences such as GBV. Your take on that? Where does the conversation begin? Yes, it is an arduous, long project, but where do we begin with the reconciliation process?
Yeah, I'm happy that you raised that, my sister. And let me tell you this. We have, as a country, ignored that kind of reconciliation. We have made it a woman has been raped. Oh, let's go out dress black. Oh, let's go purple and sleep, and then end up there, closed case. Look, women are using their wombs to carry whatever life that exists. Men and women belong to that womb. Now, when you abuse that womb, you are actually abusing a country, a community, a family. Why can't this country start realizing that we have undermined a womb that gives birth to the country and to society? It hurts me mostly when we make even the very reconciliation of women and men, we make it an easy thing, sometimes even a money-making scheme, because we want to be funded. Hey, we are doing GBVF and all that. This country needs a CODESA, needs a serious talk, needs a national dialogue. We're talking national dialogue now. We need a national dialogue that is supposed to sit and discuss the reconciliation men-women. We have ignored that. We have come out with political statements. We have done everything that we think is greater than that which brought us to life, which is a woman's womb. And we have not had a national dialogue on this case. And when you look at, when you look at what is to be addressed in this country by national dialogue, sitting in the core is that which says we have never respected our women. You know, I come from a Zulu-speaking background, and I come from an area. My family comes from an area called Escort and Kwatugel, and that area ibizwa ngokuthi abaqulusi. People come from there, abaqulusi. And why that? It was because uqulusa, it is when women, you know, would go in their istwaba, you know, dress, expose their back and the private back. And it is when a woman does that, it means even if the war is right and in its mega, you stop. And that's how in Africa we regarded our women. Uma unkoskazi, and when a woman, a ulusa, when he lifts up her dresses and all that, it meant, whoa, you look back as a man, you respect that. Do we still do that? Do we still respect that? Shaka's mother, what ulusa? And I'm asking, why can't we bring that? Maybe one of these days, we should be asking all our women to walk the streets and to walk the villages at Ulus, because our women have now been not only undermined, but been destroyed. Their womanhood has not been given the respect that it deserves.
Sure. The voice there of Mr. Seth Mazibuko, who is the Chief Operating Officer at the Moral Regeneration Movement, a movement founded by the vision of Nelson Mandela, who described it as the RDP of the soul. It is a few seconds before the top of the hour. If you've just joined us, welcome to it. This is African Diaries.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Conversations that touch the heart and inspire change. Here on African Diaries, only on Channel Africa. Join us on www.channelafrica.co.za.
It is 11 p.m. Central African time. If you have just joined us, welcome to it. Shayla Ndikumana keeping you company for the next hour. We're still in conversation with Mr. Seth Mazibuko, who is the COO of the Moral Regeneration Movement, and we're talking all things reconciliation between the man and the woman. Of course, the absence thereof leading to gender-based violence and other experiences within society. In this hour, what is to come, we'll be speaking to Mr. O.J. Moiketsi, a Johannesburg-based director and producer, who will be speaking to us about how the media and film shapes the narrative of GBV. Would love to hear from you this evening. Do find us on WhatsApp +27 634069126. If not, on social media at Channel Africa 1.
Africa Speaks on African Diaries with Shayla Ndikumana.
We continue conversations with Mr. Seth Mazibuko, and we're looking at reconciliation between men and women and how this has fundamentally led to the results of experiences such as GBV. Mr. Seth, your parting shot there really stung me, that of one attacking, or yes, for the lack of a better word, one attacking a womb actually attacks the nation. And you went on to describe the level of respect required for a woman in society. I want to talk about where we lost the plot. What was it? What experiences do you believe in, of course, in your view and in your very well-versed wisdom, do you think as Africans, as South Africans, we began to lose the plot when it comes to this respect base and this reconciled state between men and women?
Immediately when Africa became Western, sorry, I've got a bit of flu. And immediately when Africa became more of a Western and adopted deep Western cultures, we lost it. We then adopted that culture, and that culture has its own way of respecting their women. And we became a mixture of both that Western culture and the African culture. But the African culture became secondary. It lost its Ubuntu. It lost its ethical practices. And the Western culture took priority. And that, you know, I always say this, not only on issues gender, not on issues GBV. I always say where Africa misses the point, it is when Africa think is that all that is Africa is less. And that is killing us, guys. And that is destroying us. I'm hoping that in our struggle of recovering Africa, we'll recover also Ubuntu. And we will then recover our respect of our women. You know, when a woman in Africa, for instance, is looked upon as just honoring the man, it is actually not honoring a man. It is actually saying, I'm indispensable as a woman in your life and as a man. Now, we have to start thinking seriously of, I was asked just 2 weeks ago, you know, to speak in a group of young people. And I was saying to them, you know, what is it that you do that you think is Ubuntu or is Africa that you're doing now as young people? And we came out with 0. And what is it that, again, in the GBV situation, what is it that we do that where we seem to be finding solutions only in the Western dictated terms? We're not looking at anything Africa. We say GBV will be solved by the West. And let us accept, my sister, that women who are actually going through GBV, statistics will tell you 99.9% are African. Indian families look after their women and look after themselves as family. White families look after themselves and their family. What has happened to us? Why are we so careless about our women? We're very careless about our women family. And the question is that you asked me, what do I think we should do? Go back, think family in the African context, and then think solutions to fight GBV in the African context. Let me make an example. We have just been busy. You know that many boys now have gone to the mountain, and there's that circumcision period of young men in particularly in isiXhosa and again in Limpopo. We've gone through a program as MRM of what we call pre-mountain, because what happens is that when these young men are through the process of circumcision and that process, they come back post that period and they think their manhood is not determined by how they supposed to handle their women, but it is determined by how they abuse their women. And us as elder men, we look aside and we think, no, my boy is doing well. Oh, my boy is a boy. And all I'm saying is that our African way of making men, of building and bringing up men, has got a bit of a content that is not belonging there, which is Western. And again, the way we look after our women is we look at them with Western glasses, not with African perspective that respect our women.
Sure. Mr. Seth, we are going to need to park it there for now. However, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Thank you for your wisdom, and we do hope to be speaking to you soon.
Anytime, and I'm happy to contribute towards the building of Africa and towards the protection of our women.
The voice there of the Chief Operating Officer of the Moral Regeneration Movement, a movement founded by the vision of Nelson Mandela, who described it as the RDP of the soul. Some really hard-hitting facts coming in there, some really groundbreaking observations when it comes to the context that we find ourselves in when we are looking at the scourge of GBV and its prevalence in the African continent and why it is so prevalent in the African continent. The fundamental basis: do we know who we are? And if we know who we are we abiding to what it is we understand or who we understand ourselves to be? Because there are things we do not do simply because we are African. And it seems that we've lost the plot. It is 9 minutes, in actual fact, 10 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time.
Africa at Play with NATO and ETO chairman.
Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Bafana Bafana's opening match is against the Portuguese-speaking nation Angola on the 22nd. What can we expect from Hugo Bros and his charges?
When we went to the previous tournament, we sort of had the underdog tag as a country, and we were a little bit humble. Expectations were not as high as they are now at the moment. So I just felt that players were in a good space psychologically. I just feel that Bafana will still be tournament favorites. But coach Hugo Bros has a lot of work psychologically to make sure that players remain focused, humble, and players are playing without any pressure. Because when South African players are very creative, then we know that the outcomes are very good. But when they are under pressure, we know that sometimes the outcomes can be what what we don't want to experience.
Coach Tabasino.
Live every Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. Central African Time. Your passport to Africa's untold stories. Only on African Diaries. Weekdays, 10 till midnight.
yow mi nga xam ne bëgguma ku dul yow jaral nga ma guux pétrole di waltaal nga la jaral nga ma dem wax sa xalaat dem wax sa xalaat ma wax la sama xalaat yow mi ma tànn ci seen biir def la àndandoo nara fas yéene nga doon jabar nga la bundireeroo nga la bundireeroo nga la bundireeroo ba kenn duñu kekkantoo yow mi nga xam ne bëgguma ku dul yow jaral nga ma guux pétrole di wal nga la jaral nga ma di ma wax sa xalaat di ma wax sa xalaat ma wax la sama xalaat yow mi ma tànn ci seen biir def la àndandoo nara fas yéene nga doon jabar nga la bundireeroo nga la bundireeroo ba kenn duñu kekkantoo science walang guba ngay jaar
From Cape to Cairo, every beat tells a story. It's African Diaries on Channel Africa.
Delinara hectare kili di murikante ma sono ya to sonko.
Mari Kante bringing us to 19 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. That one titled Mbalia. That particular hit just reflecting the beauty that is West African music on global stages. It is taken off an album titled Yeke, and that is known as Monday music, if you are not familiar with the musical genre. Before that, we had Tion Sek coming in with Yo, and that means you, loosely translated in Wolof. That was a trip to Senegal, and I understand that that song is tilted toward the romantic address. Okay, it's very emotional, very personal, very Tion Sek, laying his heart out. And so that is what we got to enjoy. Let's take a quick breather. When we get back, we continue our conversations on the platform.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Tumeona chapisho mapema hii leo ya kwamba Wizara ya Mambo ya Nje ya nchini Marekani imesema inapitia upya uhusiano wake na nchi ya Tanzania. Pengine taarifa hii imepokelewaje na wananchi wa Tanzania?
Cha kwanza tumeiona taarifa ambayo imetoka hii leo. Sisi kwetu taarifa hii haikutushangaza wala haikutushtua kwa sababu tulishaona taarifa kama hiyo imetoka kwenye ubalozi wa Marekani nchini Tanzania, ikiwa imetolewa na bwana Tom Pigott.
Umezungumza kwa kina kabisa. Haya ni malalamiko ambayo yamekuwa yakijitokeza mara kwa mara. Unadhani sasa je, wana hoja ya msingi?
Unauliza maswali mazuri sana na maswali ya tafakari. Maswali ambayo hayawezi kujibiwa kwa dakika moja au kwa siku moja. Ni maswali yanayohitaji utafiti, yanayohitaji kusoma.
Darubini ya Afrika kila Jumatatu hadi Ijumaa kuanzia saa 11 kamili hadi saa 12 kamili jioni majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
The story that moves the continent. It's on African Diaries on Channel Africa.
21 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time, and this hour we continue the conversation on GBV, and we are now joined by OJ Moiketsi. He is a film and television director as well as producer, known for his bold, character-driven storytelling and socially conscious work. With a career spanning over 2 decades, his work ranges from tackling everyday issues like Zola 7 to exploring modern perceptions of sexuality in his debut feature film, Hidden Passions, and most recently amplified Unheard Voices in his gender-based violence documentary series, We Still Rise. We are going to be looking at how the world of film and media contributes to the narrative of GBV. Mr. OJ, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to African Diaries.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let's start off by looking at the power of film and media. You have been in this industry for quite some time, and of course, at some point, you notice the power, the pull that the media and film has in swaying the way people think. Walk us through that very moment when this discovery hit you and how you conscientized yourself of it.
All right. Thank you once again. So I think I come from the class of the early 2000s, right? Where we inherited an industry that was telling stories of this is post our 1994 elections, and everything is political. You know, the current topics are political. So we were telling stories of like cry the beloved country, similar stories like that. So we inherited political narratives, and there was a hunger to shine a light on our narratives, you know, in our townships. And now we started telling stories like my apologies, like Yizo, which was hailed as groundbreaking because it was a first of its kind. However, you look at it was not the only one that we told at the time, but there were many stories like it that amplified violence and showcased township life as very gritty and very dangerous. And it is there was an appetite to tell real human stories at the time that were not exaggerated and leaned more on fiction. So it is from when I moved from the scripted narratives to telling stories that intersected with real lives, working on socially grounded productions, which exposed me to how audiences don't just watch stories, but they absorb them. And I saw how these stories that we're telling could either validate harmful behavior or challenge it. That's when I realized that how we frame violence, especially against women, can either deepen understanding or quietly normalize harm.
What's really interesting is the reality that these are lived experiences. And so we cannot shy away from that truth. However, when do we draw the line? I'm thinking about context of our present day, right? This is something that's on everybody's lips. Curtis James Jackson's release of Puff Daddy, and how everybody's talking about the narrative and what he did and tracking his life and times. And you almost see two worlds unfold, where there are people who are receptive to the information as though it were a norm. And this is just the way things have been, versus people who become very they're conscientized of the sensitivity of the conversation, and they tackle that end. And so when do you know how to draw the line in the storytelling so that we are giving people the right angle and narrative to ponder on?
So it is a sad case that we to a degree, have been desensitized as a society, right? And I think we as filmmakers have a responsibility to seek out where that line is, where we cross that line, you know. Um, it's when we sensationalize violence and harmful behavior, I'd like to think, we cross the line when violence only exists as shock, not to reveal truth or provoke any change. Honest storytelling is purposeful. Ask why the violence is shown and what the audience is meant to learn from these experiences. But now, when we start exploiting trauma, and this is repeated, and it lingers on our screens and aestheticized, without the care for the emotional impact. Um, so, like, if what the stories that we're telling serve as spectacle more than just understanding, then that's when we cross that line. You speak of this documentary series that came out. Unfortunately, within our society, we do have this voyeuristic culture where we want to see, we know what happened, but we want to see what happened inside that mention, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is. We want to see, like, we've got this voyeuristic um, yearning to be in the room as well. But when we start exploiting that, that's when we start withering away at our sensibilities, so to speak. You know.
Absolutely. The voice there of seasoned film and television director and producer. He joins us on the line, OJ Moiketsi, and we're looking at the narrative of GBV and how this permeates through our screens on film and through the medium. OJ, I want to talk about that very sensitive, the desensitization of an audience. Is this a conscious decision by directors? And I'm saying this because it's one thing to create a film about action and everybody's just being blasted away, right? It's another to have a team that surrounds you, that informs you and says, listen, to an extent, the psychology of what it is we're trying to put out isn't necessarily the best fitted for our society. Do we have rings of affiliates within the production space on that caliber?
Unfortunately, those spaces are few and far between. So, television and film is business. And if you follow the formula of Hollywood, it is big business. So it is the business that dictates what goes and what doesn't go. And unfortunately, we come from the 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 history of the Schwarzeneggers and the Stallones, who are just big explosions and just punching people in the faces, and you know, so to speak. And
Yeah.
we've been trying to bring the narrative closer to a true north and trying to tell these human interest stories. Um, you do find spaces where human interest stories are curated carefully and are treated with the respect that they deserve. However, in the main, um, the business will chase the numbers, and the numbers will dictate what goes on screen and what does not. But in the event, the yeah, in the event that you find yourself in a space where you have a good story to tell and a good team that you can have around you, then you do have the opportunity, the rare opportunity to 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 to, to treat the story that is being told, to treat it with care, with the care of the audience that you're telling the story to.
OJ, how do you navigate narratives when it comes to women being abused in the storyline? What's your take as a director?
So it's a very tricky, very thin line to tread. I say this to say that recently we've undertaken to create a documentary series that speaks to GBV. And it's myself and my partner, and we're both male. And we know that we're just asking for trouble, so to speak, um, because it is such a sensitive subject and we treat it with the utmost respect. But as a director, I cannot position myself as an authority figure on women's pain and suffering, or just generally women's experiences, lived experiences. I do not know what it's like to be a woman. I may be a father and a husband. However, I do not know how these people, how what it is like to be a woman. So I let the people that I work with lead me. I just bring the expertise and the know-how and to tell the best story on the day. But I cannot dictate where the narrative should go, or how it should be told. It is their experiences, and more than anything, like we've grown to work with women around our industry, and it's just holding space for people, and I not know, and the authority, and humbling yourself, I guess, to learn as well. There's always room to learn as we grow. So I that's how I would best that I'd say I best navigate the space. Earlier on, when you were doing the introduction, you did mention that we're doing this GBV series, and in it, there are so many stories that are heartbreaking that initially, when we started off 6 months ago, I thought I had an understanding, a firm grasp on what GBV entails.
Yeah.
But I can tell you now, I've learned so much from the victims that we've dealt with, and I'm so humbled that allowed me, and they're trusting me with their stories, even. But that wouldn't have happened if I led with this is my show, this is my thing, I'm the big director, the big producer. If I led with that energy, I don't think they would have opened up to that extent that we have become family today. And they're my sisters, and they're my brothers, and all of that. But I think just humility, and opening yourself to learn. All I'm bringing to the table my expertise and knowing how to produce a television series. The rest they'll take care of, and I'll guide where I need to be guided, but with respect, I guess. And I think the same applies to the film, that is, it's fiction. However, I worked with the lead. Predominantly, the cast is female. And we ask these people to do things that are not natural because they're on paper. And we ask them to, expose their vulnerabilities, and, expose themselves and bear themselves, quote unquote, naked emotionally and psychologically in front of us. And they need to be, I've got a duty of care to make sure that they feel protected within these spaces
Yeah.
where we work, and that they know that the work that they're leaving in my hands is not going to compromise them or show them in a bad light, or in any way. I think I'll answered you. Yeah.
Yes, you have, Mr. OJ. I want to
Yeah.
talk about the narrative that we see on our screens. Now,
Yeah.
GBV is gender based violence. This is
Mm.
violence against a gender type. It is
Mm.
not specific to women, nor is it specific to children. And I
Mm.
found that what we predominantly see on our screens is women being abused, right?
Mm.
And then that follows after with children. What does this then reflect about our society and its perceived view of GBV?
Um, so it is a big bias, and I say this treading carefully. Um, I picked up something that your previous guest mentioned, Mr. Seth, that our reconciliation should not only just be lip service, you know, and it should not be monetized. He spoke about just people doing campaigns and getting paid for them, and this is where we find a lot of these campaigns where the minute we start shifting the needle over to favoring men, then those organizations that are being funded all over the world as gender-based violence organization cloaked as a woman's, female and children, once they start losing out on funding. I think once we start exploring on those things and opening up maybe conversations on where are the men that are being abused, because they are there. However, there are no platforms or organizations that are championing their cause. Because I do know personally that there are men who are being abused. However, where do they go? There are no safe houses that I know of, or any organizations that are there to protect them or their needs.
Mr. OJ, just to that question, I think there are a few organizations. One that comes to mind is Father and Nation. And I do think that as much as they champion the reality of fatherlessness, they do speak to men that have been abused, and they are there to facilitate that conversation. But you're right in saying that the visibility and the reach is almost minimal, in terms of context and how we can navigate that terrain. I think, my good and kind sir, we will park it here for now. I must thank you so much for coming on to the show this evening. This has been very fruitful.
Thank you very much.
That is the voice there of OJ Moiketsi, who joins us, seasoned film and television director as well as producer. If you're thinking, tell me or talk to me about some of the range of his work, think Zola 7, think of Hidden Passions, think of We Still Rise, which is a GBV documentary that I understand the team is currently working on. It is 39 minutes after 11 p.m. Central African time. The theme for today was reconciliation, but above and beyond, we're also looking at the context of GBV and its portrayal through film and media. That tackled in the second hour. The first hour, we were looking at the reconciliation status of men to women. And what was interesting is that we tend to look at GBV as a problem, but the root cause isn't GBV. It's far more deeper than that. And that I found very profound.
As 2025 draws to a close, we pause to honor the spirits that connect us.
Let's get it started.
The festive season reminds us of what truly matters: family, community, and unity. No matter where you gather or reflect, Channel Africa is with you, bringing you stories and voices that are shaped by the African perspective.
Something significant happened on this day. Asanda, you were a baby, I'm sure. I'm not even sure if you were born. No, you were a baby, yeah.
Yoga. Matseko is still trying to convince me. Look me
No, I've
over
done that already, and you're going to come now on the journey.
I will try.
From all of us to all of you, may your season be safe and peaceful. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Nighttime radio, just the way you like it. On Channel Africa, where the night comes alive.
I heard my name. Did you call me? Did you speak truth when you dug wounds? When you spill blood? Did you say love? When you promised the Most High you won't betray? Do you love me now? my heart to communicate. Absent-minded on the earth, devoted to sin, not knowing I'm dead. Your phrases are highly majestic. I'm amazed by your great linguistics. Yeah, your words are placed together to sell dubious manifestos. The end is devastating. Marriage of lies. Your words are sweet and enticing, but false crandall. Still I go to the fountain where waters flow. Where the truth of rise, there I will go. Do you love me? Do you love me? I will go. Do you love me now? I know I've never been found. It's dark, for we are all blind. In solitude we know God. In public we don't like God. Is it destiny? Is it meant to be? Do you love me now? Yeah. Do you love me now? Whoa, now that everything has been said and done. Do you love me now? Hey, the system got so much control. Do you love me now? Let it out from under your madness. Do you always against sign? Whoa, love against hate. Whoa, so the man go over crashing. Whoa, tell me why can I? Oh, your love is so cold. Ooh, Lord, love me. Do you love me now?
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
Ingathi uyibambe ngesandla uyiqinisile inhliziyo yami. Ingathi ndiyabona igazi lisihla ngenkalo yakho. Ingathi uyibambe ngesandla uyicingele inhliziyo yami. Lihlungu ndiyayiva ithwala into nje. So bendiphinde ndithemba omnye umntu, ndibeke ithemba lam komnye umntu emhlabeni. No, I'll never ndiphinde ndivulela omnye umntu ezonothanda ngale ndlela owenze ngayo. Uyiqinisile inhliziyo yami. Ingathi ndiyabona lisihla ngenkalo yakho ingathi uyibambe ngesandla uyicingele inhliziyo yami nenhlungu yakiva ithwalithwe nje
Nova on this one, titled Inhliziyo, meaning heart in isiXhosa and isiZulu. And that one, a deep expression of love. Before that, we had Neka with that one titled Do You Love Me Now? And this song speaks to unrequited love to an extent. It's almost like love missed. You know, when you have an interest in somebody and they at that period don't see you, don't acknowledge you. And then when you turn around and you finally turn a new leaf and you decide, I am done with this, that's when they're like, hey, why does that even happen? 50 after 11 p.m. Central African time.
Conversations are happening, and Channel Africa is at the heart of them. We tell the African story with clarity, pride, and purpose, reaching audiences that matter to your brand. Partner with us and connect your business with listeners across borders in multiple languages and markets. For partnership opportunities, sponsorship, or sales, email us at partnership@channelafrica.co.za. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet, Channel 628.
It is 9 minutes before the show comes to an end. It is round about this point where we touch base with Morris Touch of the Afro Republic and we look at what is to come. The new dawn, the new day that Morris introduces us to through the Afro Republic. Good and kind, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Very well, Shayla. It's good to have you back. How was your weekend?
Morris, it was a weekend. It was a weekend. There was rain for no reason. Okay. But all is well. All is well in the southern, I suppose, part of the continent. Good, sir. What can we expect from your show today?
Fantastic show to look forward to, but hit me up, take me back to what we experienced today, which I could have missed because we are trying to connect with me. What was the conversation?
So in the first hour, Morris, we spoke to the realities of GBV and reconciliation. It is Reconciliation Day. Well, I suppose 8 minutes before the day comes to an end. However, we were looking at the reconciled state of men and women across the continent, across the globe, and this then resulting in experiences such as GBV. And then in the second hour of the show, we looked at the depiction of GBV through film and the media, and how this then affects people's sensitivity or perhaps desensitization, and how we've seen this permeate throughout the context of the globe at large. So those were the two conversations highly focused on GBV and of course speaking to that SABC campaign.
It's been a ride. I think I strongly believe that the media has played its part as far as GBV is concerned. You have played your part, I have played my part, and it is up to those that are out there and are consumers of our content to then take action. And when we say action, we mean positive action towards changing the narrative as far as GBV is concerned. So I think the media has done so well and continues to do well, especially the SABC. The campaign can never be spoken about or carried the way the SABC carried this campaign. From I think from the time that I started here, every year gets better. So yeah, the communication and the messaging of GBV or against GBV has been excellent. So I think the media has done very well, especially the SABC.
Absolutely. Morris, on your end, what can we expect this morning?
Wednesday, it's going to be, it is the 17th. It will be the 17th of December 2025. Christmas time is upon us, or rather festive season is upon us, as we get to celebrate. And what a way to celebrate other than showcase the best of African music. We're providing quite a number of artists. This we do against the fact that we were supposed to have a live conversation with an artist, and it was unfortunate, unlike last week where we had Zakwa. This week we don't have an artist that is coming into the studio, but we will without a doubt profile Mzo 7, a fantastic artist from Zimbabwe who's done well for himself and continues to grow and showcase his talent as one of those leading artists. That's what we're going to be engaging on. We'll then play music that does speak to the season that we are in, which is what I was saying yesterday, that the times that we are in really require us to keep it in the mind. It becomes top of the mind type of setup for whoever is following us, for whoever is staying with us from 12 midnight to 3 a.m., that it is festive season. And then we've got the connection point coming through between 3 and just before 3 o'clock. That's 10 minutes to 3 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So we'll connect with the continent of Africa and just give you an idea of how great this continent is in every aspect. So that's the show tonight, Afro Republic, coming through in the next coming 4 minutes. Top of the morning, Shayla.
Oh, thank you a ton there, Morris. The voice of Morris Touch of the Afro Republic. And he will be taking over at midnight. To the team that has been, what a stellar job. Thank you a ton. On technical production, we had Tito Macau. On digital production, we had Elaine Vengani, as well as Rutibi. And then on production, we had Muleboheng Sehome. My name is Shayla Ndikumana, and I hope we get to do this again tomorrow between 10 and midnight. For now, cheers.
Are you feeling good?